Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jeroen van Maanen. I'm a dairy farmer from Zeewolde, a city in the middle of the Netherlands. Someone asked me if I could send a message what's going on in Holland, what's all about these farmer protests and why are Dutch farmers angry. Well, the farmer protests are already here since 2.5 years. The 1st of October 2019 was the first time Dutch farmers had a very big protest. We all went to The Hague. And actually that was more like some protest about the wind which was blowing already probably for 30 years. That somewhere there's a problem in the environment. There's a problem with pollution. Agriculture sector gets pointed at as main cause of all problems. After the biggest protest, nitrogen problems came up, and nitrogen problems aren't new. 30 years ago already, nature people start talking about nitrogen pollution, which would make the rain sour, and all the sour rain would cause lots of damage to the nature parks, to forests. And when you would hear these voices, all the nature would be gone in a few years. Well, 30 years later, nature's still there. Most of it is in excellent condition. Well, 2.5 years, people start talking about nitrogen emission, ammonia from agriculture sector. There's also nitrogen pollution because of the traffic, because of the industry, nitrogen oxides. But we don't talk about it a lot. When the nitrogen problem is called in Holland, it's focusing most of the times on agriculture sector only. Well, when the thing started, and actually what I wanted to do is reducing the nitrogen emission and especially the nitrogen deposition on nature parks. Well, it started, agriculture sector came together, all parties like the dairy industry, pork industry, chicken industry, you could ever call whatever industries, came together, made a big plan. There was a lot of solutions in it, and we tried to solve the problem. Our government in the meanwhile went on with making other plans, which resulted in the latest new plan a few weeks ago, and it's terrible, it's idiot, and it's of no use. What they did is they divided Holland in different regions. Some regions have to lower their emissions by 12%, some regions have to lower their emissions by 46, 75 or 95%. In the meanwhile, our juridical system is on this moment that no innovations in agriculture sector are allowed to use. So there are different techniques for lowering your emission, but when you are asked for a court and a judge will look into your innovations, they will say you can't use it. So the only reason, the only thing to lower your emissions right now is just cutting your herd back. And actually you're probably coming at the main cause of it all. Nitrogen is more like, we call it stick to beat the dog. It's just to camouflage the real cause. Some left-wing parties in Holland and probably all over the world, it's the same movement. They want to get rid of animal industries. They want to have a transition to more plant-based food, transition to vegetarians. We have all the stuff together. In Holland we also have a party like that, and they asked for 50% reduction of our national herd. That's probably on this moment the main cause of it all. We're not talking about nitrogen, no, they just want to reduce the national herd. Well, every farmer all around the world and also every citizen knows that cutting back the herd isn't the cause of any problems. You know, we are producing food. 2/3 of agricultural land on the planet can only be grown by grass, and you need cows like this for making grass into meat or into milk or whatever you want. Whatever problem with emissions, with pollution on the world you are asking about, whether it's not chemical, but farming is probably a part of the problem, but most of it all, it's part of the solution. Well, Dutch farmers now are getting angry every day more. Government is not listening. and what we are fearing for is we have to leave our land, and that's also a deeper agenda behind it. In Holland they just want to have farmers' land. 62% of the area in Holland is farmed by farmers, and what they want to do is they want to have the land cheap, so they're making it nature first, and when they have the land in their hands they can build houses on it. Houses we don't need by Dutch citizens, because average Dutch couple is getting 1.8, 1.9 kids. So what's the problem of the demand for houses? That we get 100,000 refugees in this country every year. That's why they have to build houses. Well, that's a shortcut of our problems right now. Farmers are getting angry. They're not listened by the government. Every solution we came on with, they don't take it. And what we see right now, when we have to reduce our national herd, when we have to reduce our herds by ourselves, farms will break down. On this moment, when the plan of the government is coming through, probably 30, 40, 50% of the farmers have to fear for the future. That's why we're on the street, that's why we're protesting, that's why the protesters are going harder. And actually, quite happily, all around the world, people start looking at Holland, what's happening there. Well, what the warning from the Dutch farmers is that every citizen from Holland especially, but also in Europe, probably around the globe, have to look at what do we want to have to eat in a few years' time. Dutch agriculture is world champion on every class, whether we talk about nitrogen, whether we talk about other pollutions. Dutch farming is best in all chapters, so it's no solution to get rid of Dutch farmers. The production which is going away up here needs to come back in another different area from the world. Well, we need transport for that. It gives CO2 emissions, and also the standards of production up there aren't as high as in Dutch agriculture. So that's why we're fighting on the street. We want to stay on our land. When we are part of a problem, we want to solve it. We can do it. We always did it. Nitrogen pollution, nitrogen emissions turned back 68% by agriculture sector in Holland in the last 30 years. So we prove we can do a lot of things, but we will keep on farming. We will fight for our farms. And that's why we have the actions. We have the protest in the country. We're asking a lot of attention for our problems. This is in Holland we call it a farmer's handkerchief, and it's made the symbol of the battle of the farmers right now. And actually it feels good that foreign people asking for what's happening in Holland, and we're warning you all over Europe. This problem which is here in Holland can be your problem in the next years. So we're asking for support from farmers and also citizens in Europe, all around the world. This problem could be your problem. When citizens want to have food on the plate in the next 10 years, then we have to stand up for our farmers. Dutch farmers are standing up. We are supporting all farmers around the world. Keep on doing what we do, and we have to start fighting for our farms, for our future, for our families, and for food on the table. Thanks very much.